Chapter 1, Section 1. Hopefully today is not too bad. Hopefully it's a little decently easy for you guys. You've hopefully seen this in pre-algebra. Evaluating algebraic expressions. If someone has their book open to Chapter 1, Section 1, can someone read what an algebraic expression is for me? Chapter 1, Section 1. Someone raise your hand and read what an algebraic expression is for me. Go for it.
Expression that may contain numbers, operations, and one or more variables.
Very good. It's an expression that's going to contain, it may contain numbers, it may contain operations, and it may contain one or more variables. So that's what it means when it says algebraic expression, if you didn't know what that meant. Today we're going to evaluate these algebraic expressions for certain values. Let's just jump right into some examples. Evaluate each expression for x equals 8. So I have two problems up there. I have letter A, absolute value of 4 minus x plus 2. And letter B, square root of 2x minus 3. So does anyone have any ideas how I'm going to approach letter A? Anyone want to take a shot at it? What am I going to do to evaluate that expression for our given value?
Find out what x is.
Do I know what x is?
Yeah.
What is x?
8.
8. It's telling me x is 8, right?
Oh, my God. I didn't.
So what do I do with that? Plug it in for what? Very good. Plug it in for x. It's telling me to evaluate when x equals 8. So in my expression, I look for x. I'm going to replace that x with 8. So I'm just going to rewrite my expression. Instead of writing x, I'm going to write 8. Questions on what I've done? Not too bad? Am I done, or do I need to work that down? I need to work it down. We got my order of operations. Can someone tell me what my order of operations are, just in general? Not for this problem, but just in general.
GEMDAs?
GEMDAs. What does GEMDAS stand for?
Groups, groups, exponents, multiply, divide, add, subtract.
Very good. Some of you may have learned it as PEMDAS, which is the P would stand for parentheses. But in algebra, we're going to deal with GEMDAS because we are dealing with grouping symbols, just all together. Very good. Grouping symbols, exponents. When we get to the M and the D, we deal with those together. Multiply and divide. We work from left to right. Any multiplication and any division, working from left to right. Same thing with addition and subtraction. We group those two together and work with those left to right. Okay? So, for my expression, do I have any grouping symbols?
Yes.
I do. I've got my absolute value, don't I? My absolute value bars. Those are grouping certain values together. So I need to do what's inside my absolute value first. So what's 4 minus 8? Negative 4. Questions there? Can anyone tell me what absolute value means and how I handle absolute value? What would the absolute value of negative 4 be?
Regular 4?
Huh?
Regular 4?
Positive 4?
Yeah.
Why is it positive 4 and not just negative 4?
Because don't you have to invert the whatever it's called?
Why do I do that though?
Because it's absolute value.
What does absolute value mean?
Invert the thing.
I'm looking for something else here.
Absolute value.
What's the full value of the number?
It's full value of the number. I'm looking for something. Thinking about it on a time or on a number line. The word I'm looking for starts with a D.
Below. Balance.
Let's look at a number line here real quick. My absolute value, I'm talking about the distance from 0. That's what my absolute value means. Okay? Can a distance be negative? Cannot, can it? I live about a mile away from the school. So I drive to school every day, right? So I drive positive 1 miles. When I drive home, am I driving negative 1 miles? No, I'm just driving another mile, right? So my distance is always going to be positive. That's what my absolute value is talking about. It's talking about the distance that number is from 0. So how far is negative 4 away from 0?
How far?
4. So that's why we have to invert the sign if it's a negative. Okay? So my absolute value of negative 4 is 4. Now I only have one operation left. What's 4 plus 2? 6. So the value of my expression when x equals 8 is 6. Any questions on letter A? Not too bad? Just plug it in, work it down using your order of operations. Can I erase this stuff to the right to give myself some room for letter B? Okay. What am I doing on letter B? I'm still dealing with the same value that they gave me for this expression. So I'm replacing x with 8. Any questions there? Okay, Jim Das. G stands for grouping symbols. Do I have any grouping symbols that have operations going on inside? I do not. I do have parentheses. Hold on. I do have parentheses. Are there operations going on inside the parentheses, though? Do I have any addition, subtraction, multiplication, division inside the parentheses? I don't. So do I have to worry about doing anything inside parentheses? Okay, very good. For right now, we're going to consider our square root, our radical, kind of like a grouping symbol for right now. Okay? So I do have another grouping symbol. So I've got to do everything under my radical. What's 2 times 8? 16. All right. What's the square root of 16? How do you get 4? What does the square root mean?
Can multiply the same number twice.
Very good. Very good. Whenever I see a square root, a radical, I'm asking myself what number times itself gives me that number under the radical. Very good. So I know that 4 times itself, 4, gives me 16, correct? Don't just divide 16 by 2. A lot of people think the square root of 16 is 8. That's not correct. What number times itself gives me that number? Last operation, 4 minus 3. What does that give me? 1. So the value of my expression when x equals 8 is 1. Questions on B? Not too bad? All right, now we got 2 variables. Previous 2 examples, we only had 1 variable. We were just replace that 1 variable with our given value. Here we've got 2 variables. Evaluate its expression for x equals negative 3, y equals 4. So how do I do letter A? What's my first thing that I need to do?
Plug in the variable.
Which number for which variable?
Negative 3 for x.
Negative 3 for x. And 4 for y. Anywhere I see an x in my expression, replace it with negative 3. Anywhere I see a y, replace it with 4. Do I have any grouping symbols that have operations going on inside? No. Do I have any exponents? Do I have any multiplication and division?
Yes.
Yes, I got multiplication. So let's do it from left to right. What's 2 times negative 3? Negative 6. Am I moving too fast for anybody? I can slow down if I need to. What's 3 times 4? 12. Do I have any other multiplication or division? Lastly, do I have any addition and subtraction?
Yes.
Yes, I do. What is negative 6 plus 12?
6.
Positive 6. The value of my expression when x equals negative 3, y equals 4 is positive 6. Questions on A? Everyone good? If you have a question, please speak up and ask your question. Someone might have the same exact question as you. Don't be afraid to ask it. Letter B. Same concept, right? I see an x. I replace it with negative 3. I see a y. I replace it with 4. What do I put in the bottom x? What do I replace that with? Negative 3. But I already put a negative 3 up here. Is it limited to just use it one time? No. Anywhere I see an x, I replace it with negative 3. Any questions there? I'm going to go ahead and put some grouping symbols around the top, because that is one of the first things we need to do, is evaluate the top. So what's negative 3 plus 4? 1. There's my grouping symbols. Do I have any exponents I need to take care of?
Yes.
Yes. What is negative 3 squared?
Positive.
Is it positive 9 or negative 9? I heard both.
Positive.
Why is it positive?
2 negatives with a positive.
Very good. What's negative 3 squared telling me to do?
Multiply by itself.
Multiply negative.
Multiply by itself. Multiply negative 3 times negative 3. Negative 3 times negative 3 gives me positive 9. And then I've got division, but it's just a fraction. If you want, you can put the decimal answer. You can also leave it as a fraction if you want. I'd probably almost prefer it as a fraction. Okay? Is this fraction in simplest form?
No.
Yes, it is. I cannot reduce 1 over 9 any further.
I mean, you just put 9.
I cannot just put 9.
No, that's backwards.
Yep, that'd be 9 divided by 1. Questions on B? Not too bad? Can I move on? All right. Remember, we all need to be taking notes. We need to keep our notes in our Algebra 1 binder. Go ahead and try these 2 examples on your own for a little bit. Try these. I can write it bigger if I need to. I know it's kind of small. So here we have A equals 2/3. B equals 9. C equals negative 4. And then I have 2 times 9a squared minus 2b, or not to be. To be or not to be? That is the question. And then for letter B, we have square root of b minus 3a plus 2c. Go ahead and try these on your own for a little bit. I can go over these real quick. It's okay if you didn't get them finished. I'm going to go ahead and erase my problems so I have some more room to work with. So same concept, right? In my expressions, anywhere I see an A, I replace it with 2/3. Anywhere I see a B, replace it with 9. C, negative 4. So I'm just going to rewrite my expression, replacing my variables with their given values. So what are we replacing A with?
2/3.
2/3. I would get in the habit of putting parentheses around anything you plug in. Okay? So I get 2 times 9 times 2/3 squared minus 2 times, what am I replacing B with? 9 plus 3 times, what am I replacing C with? Negative 4. I saw this mistake from a couple of y'all. Some of y'all just put plus negative 4 right here. You replaced 3C with negative 4. that 3 has to stay there, right? So I got to keep that 3 there. I'm just replacing the C with the negative 4. Okay? Okay, grouping symbols. Do I have any grouping symbols with operations going on inside?
Yeah.
Yes, I do. This big set of parentheses, right? It's got a whole bunch of operations inside. So I've got to do my order of operations inside that set of parentheses first, because there's a whole lot going on. Inside this big set of parentheses, do I have any other grouping symbols that have operations going on inside of them? Do they have operations going on inside of them? Inside the parentheses? Do I have any operations inside this parentheses? No. Do I have any operations inside this parentheses? No. Do I have any operations going on inside this parentheses? No. So do I have any parentheses with any operations inside of them? I do not. Do I have any exponents? Yes, I do. I have my 2/3 squared. What is 2/3 squared telling me to do?
Multiply by itself.
Multiply by itself. So 2/3 times 2/3. Do we all remember how to multiply fractions?
Yeah.
Someone remind me how we multiply fractions. Straight across. I multiply my numerator times my numerator. So what's 2 times 2? 4. And then what? I multiply my denominator times my denominator. What's 3 times 3? 9. Any questions there? I do want to see each step on your paper. So when you're doing your assignment, I need to see each step. Show your work. That's part of the credit for your assignments. Do I have any other exponents? No. Do I have multiplication and division? Yes, I got some multiplication, don't I? So you could use the same concept of multiplying straight across here. What would be my denominator of my fraction if I put 9 as a fraction? 9 over 1, right? Any whole number as a fraction is over 1. So if I multiply straight across, what's 9 times 4? 36. 1 times 9? 9. What's 36 divided by 9? 4. Or you could type that in your calculator. Or if you canceled out your 9s, you would just be left with 4. Okay? Either one of those methods will work. Negative 2 times 9. Negative 18. 3 times negative 4. Negative 12. Very good. Everyone with me so far? I can slow down a little bit if I need to. Anyone have any questions? Now's a great time to ask questions. Almost done inside my parentheses. I just have my 2 subtraction problems. What's 4 minus 18? Negative 14. Negative 14 minus 12. What? Negative 26. Everyone see why it's negative 26? They both have the same sign, right? So I add them. 14 plus 12 is 26. Keep the sign that they both have. They both have a negative sign, so it stays negative. Okay? And now I just have my last operation. 2 times negative 26. Negative 52. So there's the value of my expression when A equals 2/3, B equals 9, C equals negative 4. Questions on A? Is everyone okay if I move through B a little quicker?
Yes.
Okay. Can I erase letter A?
Yeah.
Letter B. Replacing B with 9. Replacing A with 2/3 replacing C with
Negative.
-4. Is everyone good on the plugging in part? If a variable equals a number, I can replace that variable with that number. Right? Okay, what's the square root of 9? 3. Number times itself that gives me 9 is 3. Okay, let's do our multiplication. What's -3 times 2/3? A -3. You put the 3 over 1. 6/3. What's 6 divided by 3? 2. So I get -2. And then 2 times -4. -8.
Oh, sorry.
You're good, you're good. I know, it happens sometimes. Okay, what's 3 minus 2? 1. 1 minus 8? -7. So the value of my expression when A is 2/3, B is 9, C is -4, is -7. Questions on that example? Any questions about our notes we just took? Here we go. Here's our assignment. This will be due on Wednesday, August 18th. On Canvas. You can turn it into me on paper. Okay. Yes. Coach White has talked to both of you, correct?
Yes, mine keeps crashing.
He's not. You haven't talked to him. You need to find Coach White at some point. He's in the main office. Okay. Just say, hey, I need to talk to Coach White. Having issues with my Canvas. Okay. So how you're going to do this is you're going to do your assignment on a physical piece of paper. Okay, so get a piece of notebook paper out. Get the correct heading on it. Name, date, period, assignment in the upper right-hand corner. You're going to do 1 through 23 all on page 7 on that sheet of paper. Then you'll upload it to Canvas, a picture of that paper. Any questions about how you're doing the assignment? You're not getting on Canvas and doing the assignment. You're doing it on paper, uploading it to Canvas. Any questions on that? Does anyone have any questions about any of the notes or the assignment before I end my recording?
No.
Okay.